All right, let's talk about something that's a huge deal for so many people with ADHD, but it's really misunderstood. We're talking about the ADHD freeze, that feeling of being totally, completely stuck. We're going to break down what it is, why on earth it happens, and most importantly, how to gently find your way back into motion.
Have you ever had this happen? You know you need to do something. You might even really want to do it. And you can feel that pressure just building and building inside. Your brain is screaming, just go, just start. But your body, it just won't move. It's like you're glued to the spot. It's so frustrating, right?
So first things first, and this is absolutely crucial, this is not a character flaw. This isn't you being lazy, it's not a lack of willpower, and it isn't just you procrastinating. It's actually a physiological response, something that's happening way down deep in your nervous system.
Let's put a name to it. It's called the freeze response. Think of it like your nervous system slamming on the emergency brake. When fight or flight aren't options, or the stress just gets to be too much, your body defaults to a full body pause. Its main job, believe it or not, is to protect you by conserving energy.
You can kind of think of the ADHD nervous system as swinging between two poles. On one side, you've got hyperactivation. That's the go, 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 the frantic urgency, the feeling of being totally overwhelmed. And on the other side, you've got hypoactivation. That's the shutdown, the brain fog, the immobility. The freeze state lives right there on the hypoactivation side of things.
And because it's so quiet and low energy, the freeze state is really easy to mess. It's not always some big, dramatic shutdown. It often just gets mislabeled by us and by other people as, oh, I'm just tired or I'm just feeling unmotivated, when really there's something much deeper going on. Mentally, it can feel like you're wading through mud. Even a tiny decision like, what should I have for lunch, can feel monumental. You might look up at the clock and realize hours have vanished. And the worst part, it's usually all covered in this thick layer of guilt and shame for wasting time, which, ironically, just makes the freeze even worse. And this isn't just in your head, right? Your body gets in on the act too.
You might notice your breathing gets really shallow or you're kind of slumped over. Some people even feel a literal heaviness or a cold feeling in their arms and legs. Again, that's not weakness. It's your nervous system physically trying to conserve every last bit of energy.
Okay, this is it. This is probably the most important shift in thinking we can make. If you want to get out of freeze, trying to brute force it with motivation is never going to work. It's like trying to yell at a scared animal. The real key, the only way out, is to create a sense of safety for your nervous system.
I mean, think about it. When you're berating yourself for being frozen, you're just signaling more danger to your brain. It keeps that freeze response locked down tight. But the second you can switch to compassion, just gently telling yourself, it's okay, my body's just trying to keep me safe, you start to loosen that lock.
I absolutely love this way of putting it. We always tell ourselves to snap out of it, but that's way too jarring for a system that's already on high alert. So instead, think of it like you're defrosting. It has to be slow, it has to be gradual. It's a gentle reawakening, not a sudden jolt.
So how do we start to defrost? It begins with the tiniest little sensory signals to your body. We are not talking about big actions here. Just roll your shoulders, wiggle your fingers, take one single slow breath, and let it out with a sigh. Every one of these micro movements sends a little message to your nervous system that says, hey, it might be safe to come back online now. And let's be super clear here. The point of wiggling your toes is not to get you ready to tackle your to-do list. The goal is just motion, any motion at all. We have to remember, especially with an ADHD brain, motivation almost always comes after we start moving, not before. Okay, so once you feel a tiny bit of that thaw starting, you can add a small spark of action. But look how low pressure these are. You're not trying to finish a project. You're just putting away one single thing. You're not writing that email, you're just opening the draft. It helps build a little bit of energy without shocking the system back into overwhelm. Now, here is a warning, because this is the trap so many of us fall into. The moment you start to feel a little bit better, the temptation is to floor it, to rush and try to make up for all that lost time. But that sudden burst of frantic energy, that's usually the exact thing that sends your nervous system right back into shutdown. So the strategy is this. Stabilize before you speed up. After you do one tiny thing, just pause, take a breath, let your system settle and realize, okay, that was safe. We can handle that.
You're basically retraining your body that it's possible to be engaged without it being a five-alarm fire. And this just gets to the absolute heart of it. We think the goal is to get back to being productive, but the true opposite of feeling frozen and shut down isn't checking boxes on a list. It's the feeling of aliveness. It's being present and connected and just here.
So, at the end of the day, when you can see that shutdown not as a personal failure, but just as a signal from your body, everything changes. Your system doesn't need you to force it into submission. It just needs a gentle invitation to come back to the world.
So I'll leave you with this question to carry with you. The next time you feel that all too familiar sense of being stuck, instead of asking, how can I make myself move? Just try asking, what is one tiny, gentle invitation that my body might say yes to right now?